What is up, webheads? Welcome back to the channel. Ever since the post-credit scene for Marvel's Spider-Man 2018, there's been nothing but constant speculation on who exactly is going to become Venom in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. In the first game, we of course learned that Harry Osborne is suffering from a terminal illness with seemingly no cure, which resulted in Norman somehow acquiring the symbiote to try and cure Harry of this mystery illness. And in this post-credit scene, we see that the symbiote is attached to Harry in some kind of tank. So that automatically has made fans believe that Harry's going to ultimately become Venom in the second game. And now that the true identity of Venom has been confirmed not to be Eddie Brock, that's just further the confirmation of fans that they are almost positive that it's going to be Harry. But now, I'm not so sure. I'm pretty much positive that it isn't going to be Harry now. Because if we look back and analyze the symbiote in prior forms of Spider-Man media and comic books, this just doesn't add up to how the symbiote actually works. Because we know that the symbiote needs to bond to a host to survive, right? But for the symbiote to survive itself, it needs to find a match. And what symbolizes a match is that the symbiote is able to attach itself onto a host immediately and transform it into Venom. And we've seen that on multiple different occasions, like Eddie Brock from the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s, Spider-Man 3 with Eddie Brock once again, and for a third time with Eddie Brock in the 2018 Venom film and the Venom film Let There Be Carnage. And Peter Parker was also a match in the animated series and Spider-Man 3 as well, but it just didn't transform him into Venom because he's got superhuman abilities right off the bat anyway. So we've only seen instances where the symbiote finds a match. And off the top of my head, I can't really remember a time where the symbiote didn't find a match. Like found someone who thought it was a match, but it didn't end up working out. And when we see the symbiote in that tank with Harry, I think the symbiote is rejecting Harry as a host. Because it's attached to him in that tank, but because Harry is ill and so weak, it's kind of rejecting him and not really taking him on as a full-blown host. And thus, it isn't actually able to cure him. Because if Harry was in fact a match for the symbiote, it would have transformed him into Venom immediately and broken him out of the tank, and he would have been just fine, but he would just be Venom as a result. But if the symbiote is rejecting Harry as a host, then who's going to become Venom? Who's going to become this new host that's going to be adequate for the symbiote to bond with? And sure enough, the answer may have just been right in front of our faces for the past 5 years. So also in the post-credit scene, when it's first revealed that Harry's in the tank with the symbiote, we also see Norman Osborn. He's the one that reveals all of this to us, and he approaches the tank with Harry inside it with the symbiote. He's obviously kind of disappointed, angry, and he's honestly just filled with rage with everything that happened with Spider-Man, Dr. Octavius, and just dealing with the whole Devil's Breath crisis and the backlash that he's received from the public of New York. And now he's dealing with his sick son and the symbiote not actually being able to help him. So he puts his hand up on the glass, and the symbiote almost immediately just lunges towards him through the glass, and it wants to be on Norman. You can easily tell. And I think the symbiote knows that Norman would be a viable host for it. I think it senses that pent-up anger and frustration that Norman has, and I think the symbiote likes that a lot. Symbiotes prey on hosts that are going through a lot of suffering with a lot of anger and hatred going on within their lives and personalities. And I think with Peter in this game, Peter's obviously still going to be dealing with the consequences of the death of his Aunt May. And if we know anything about Peter Parker, he's going to be going through his trials and tribulations and just the overall stress that comes with Spider-Man. So I definitely think something else is going to happen with Peter that's going to further his rage and just pent-up frustrations being the webhead. But yeah, that's right. I think that Norman Osborn is going to take on the symbiote and ultimately become Venom. This is going to be the twist that not a lot of us are going to see coming. Because dang near anyone that's a Spider-Man fan, when they think of Norman Osborn, they think of the Green Goblin as well. That's the first thing they associate the character of Norman Osborn with. So to see him become Venom, that will be a twist that will absolutely blow our minds. And plus, one of the developers over at Insomniac said that they wanted to tell an original story that has not been told before, and this one would certainly take the cake as one of the best that we didn't see coming with all the twists. Now, just because I think Norman Osborn is going to become Venom in Marvel's Spider-Man 2, that doesn't mean he's not going to become the Green Goblin at some point as well, as it was also teased in the first game in Norman's penthouse suite. That was a big tease when we saw those bombs that Oscorp was developing, along with the mask that detects weaknesses. But that's definitely a topic for another video that I want to cover in a lot more deeper detail. So guys, that's going to do it for this theory video on now who I think is going to become Venom in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. So guys, if you love all things Spider-Man content, especially content relating to Marvel's Spider-Man 2, be sure to make sure you're a subscriber, as I post multiple videos including news, theories, updates, and all that good stuff each and every week. Be sure to leave a like on this video if you got something out of here today, and make sure you let me know down below in the comments section, who do you think is going to become Venom in Marvel's Spider-Man 2? Thank you guys all so much for watching. See ya, chumps.
See ya, chump.